Want to welcome y'all back to the podcast, Revelation Through Conversation. I'm your host, Ken Brown, with my co-host.
Jay Brown.
And tonight's conversation, the secret battle of men, what we struggle with but don't share.
Yeah.
Before we start, I have our guests introduce themselves.
My name is Sean Parker Berry, originally from Delaware, presently in the great state of Georgia. Father, divorcee, father of three, and child of Most High God.
All right.
All right, I'm Alvin Johnson from Mississippi, born and raised. Currently living in Coweta, Oklahoma. Child of God, trying to be a better follower so that I can be a better leader. Have um, three biological and three God-given, children I'm married into as well.
Okay.
Lovely wife, Laquita Hatch. Well, Laquita Johnson now.
Yes,
Yep.
sir. Don't forget it. Don't forget it.
Once again, man, I'm gonna introduce that title one more time. The secret battle of men, what we struggle with but don't share. Hey, guys, before we start, I got a video, man, that I want to play. I feel like it fits exactly what we're about to talk about right now. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear it clearly.
And don't nobody give a damn. I'm being honest, bro. When a man need up,
Can y'all see Ken?
everybody check the man up.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know what I can
Check.
see Ken.
Give more money. But when a woman need up, everybody cool with it. The first thing they say is, what the man need. You know what I'm saying? The man should be doing it. You shouldn't be doing it by yourself. It's the man. The man. The man got to be the strongest person in the house. But when he weak, who helping that man be strong? You know what I'm saying? When that man going through something, who helping him? The man can't call on nobody. He got to do it all by himself. Even when he's stressed out, who helping the man? When he's suffering and struggling, who helping the man? He got to help himself. Ain't nobody standing with him, but he standing with everybody else. He pay everything. He do everything. He trying to keep everybody in order, trying to keep the kids in order, keep himself in order, keep the spirit in order, keep the mind in order. Who gonna keep the man in order when he out of order? Maybe need somebody to help him. But a woman, everybody cool with it. Nobody say shit. Everybody got their back. But when a man go through something, he get stepped on, he get beat down, he get degraded, he get insulted, he get dragged down through the mud. You wonder what's wrong with these men? They going through it. They stressed with the white face. Like I ain't going through shit. Like I ain't dealing with nothing. I know we feel like this sometimes, bro. You try to be tough, bro. I don't care how strong you think you are, bro. But when your heart get hurt, bro, it's different, bro. When your people laugh at you, bro, when you suffer, that shit different. That's a different feeling, man. It's a different feeling. I don't think about understand what the hell I'm talking about right now. No. Every always man fall, relationship fail. Every time they fail, when somebody fails you mentally and physically and emotionally, they failed you, bro. You try to spend time, they don't want time. You try to love them, they don't want love. They don't want to kiss, they don't want nothing. They push you in the corner, bro. People push you in the corner and they expect you to smile while you're in the corner. Hurt. You don't feel it. They don't know you. Free, they don't know you. You don't care about it, but damn, am I a bad person like that? When everybody look down on me when I'm hurt? When a man go through something, don't nobody give a damn.
Hey, man. Hey, I came across that video, I think, yesterday, bro. And I don't believe in coincidence. Like, I felt like God wanted that video to be a part of this discussion, man. And I don't know about y'all. Well, hey, y'all men too, so I know y'all can relate to what he was talking about. I know I can, man. So, uh, hey, we're gonna start with you, Ab. What are your thoughts when you hear
Well, that's a good question, man. That's kind of deep. It's a lot of things that in a way, it's kind of true, because a man is supposed to be looked on as the backbone. You know what I mean? So being the
Mm-hmm.
fact that we're supposed to be the head, there's a lot of weight on our shoulders, like because God holds us accountable for the family. So it's like they expect us to have like everything in order, but everybody falls short of the glory. So nobody's perfect, but we
Mm-hmm.
all need helpmates to help us just as much as we would help anybody else. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like the struggle that we go through, a lot of times is frowned upon because, like I said, they expect us to have everything together. They want us to be able to fix everything. And when we hurting, like some people that say a man shouldn't cry, but real men cry too. You know,
Mm-hmm.
when you cry, I feel like if nobody else could do anything, we always should turn to God on that note. Like regardless, instead of trying to take the toll on our own. But
Mm-hmm.
that's the true thing. Like that's the way some people look at us from a different perspective as a man. So
Hey,
that's what
son.
I feel.
Well, hey, son, get in there, man. Like when you hear that, what comes to your mind when you hear
Man, I definitely related to what the brother had to say.
that? Mm-hmm.
Even though we on a podcast with a lot of men that of faith, but sometimes the words can't be expressed, but through simple just frustration. The four-letter words, the words that kind of just get us to understand that we men. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to not relate to that video, as I told you in the beginning, being a divorced man, being a Christian divorced man. You know what I'm saying? Being a man that was serving the Lord, wife that was serving the Lord, kids, family, the whole nine, American dream. And then in one instance, it all just changed. You
Mm-hmm.
know? And then the idea, like I related to, he said he got to help himself. I remember throughout the years, being the man that necessarily didn't need no help, didn't fall too short when it came to getting into drugs and alcohol, but looking at family members that, they get the family member to let them in and stay on the couch, or they get the family member to leave them land in the house, and they get the family member that they can, after they come out of jail, you know,
Mm-hmm.
nothing against those brothers and nothing against that, but the idea that we as men that kind of stay on a path of what seems like strength, we get weak too.
Mm-hmm.
We sometimes need a little support and pat on the back as well. And I believe sometimes when you don't fall so far, short, or fall so far down, that they forget that, we as men, we still need that. I
Mm-hmm.
still remember, I'm the youngest, six. I still remember the first time my brother got locked up. You know what I'm saying? And before getting locked up and seeing the path he was taking and understanding that, there was, I had two brothers, and my other brother was from my father. And, my mom was saying certain things little, but it's big in some sense. Like, all right, I ain't gonna cook no more. But when he came home to visit my middle brother, she went head back in the kitchen and did little stuff like that. Not to say I'm piggybacking on it's the little things, but no, what I'm saying is a lot of times when men are standing the best they can and they haven't fallen too far short, it's hard to see that somebody reaches out. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to see that. I know my uncle, took in my cousin and everything. And it's like, all right, I wanted to rent a house from him, but because of previous situations, my uncle was like, well, I don't rent the family no more. So I'm, as a person, newly married, got the job, do the whole nine with paying him rent, hiccup on that. But because of previous situations and considerably, like I said, the level of people that he helped, he got burnt. So somebody that kind of just needed probably a little push, or it felt like needing to push at the time, the handout, well, the hand, I ain't gonna say handout,
And
isn't
no,
always
yeah.
isn't always freely there for a brother that, you know, doesn't fall very.
I get what you're saying, man. It's like when they look at you, like you said, you got it together. They think like he don't need no help. I get what you're saying. It's like the ones that's kind of out here where you can just see the fruit they're bearing. You can see that okay, they're out here living recklessly. Like they don't have it all together. People are more quicker to um give them assistance. Not thinking about the man that's doing his best to stay on that path, to do all he can. They look as if he never gets weak. He never needs assistance, but that's not the case, bro. JB, you want to chime in, man?
I mean, the video, man, I hear heard a lot of passion in the man's voice. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot that you can relate to when it comes to everything he was saying. You can just hang your hat on so many things he said, but
Mm-hmm.
what stood out to me is when he said, "Who gonna come help me?" You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And the fact, I just feel like that question within itself it has so many layers because who gonna come help me? You know what I'm saying? That makes a man hesitant to even reach out because that's his mindset to begin with. Who gonna help me? You know what I'm saying? We roll our sleeves up, we just keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? I even had a mentality sometimes, man. Ain't nobody come to save me. We
Mm-hmm.
suck it up and you know what I'm saying? Get to it. You know?
Hey, and with that being said, like, I think you think we've been bred that way to feel like he was saying in the video, like they just tell you man up, you know.
Yeah. That's what
It,
society still tell you to this day. That's
it's
what they still
like,
tell you to this day.
could that be the reason, like men, and everybody can chime in on this, like, cause I even know with me, man, be sometimes I be going through something and I don't reach out for help,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's cause like they're just embedded in us, like you a man, like
Yep.
he
Mm-hmm.
said, man up, figure it out, like. So you may have people around you that can help you carry this load, but we told like, hey, man up. So is that why men don't even reach out for help?
I feel like
You're
I feel
right.
like we was conditioned to do that based off where we come from. You know what I'm saying? We were
Mm-hmm.
conditioned to be quiet, bro. Because there's never been we never been in a setting when we was coming up where we saw people just freely express themselves. You know what I'm saying? Just that, people just silent, period. You know what I'm saying? They keep it all to themselves. Yeah, I'm good. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? You ever met a person that said they was good? And that conversation was y'all last conversation, like, man, I just talked to dude. Like he must have he probably could have spazzed out and went to jail or something. But you just talked to him, he just said he was good. I feel like when you said you be going through, you don't reach out, that's a natural instinct for every man. I think every man do that. But
Yeah.
I feel like besides God and the people we spend and our loved ones, our wife, you know yourself more than anybody, bro.
You
Like
don't be
you want
vulnerable.
you want to find yourself, reaching out to your brother, one that you can trust before it get too bad. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But to your point, I mean, I feel like we were conditioned that way, bro. We was raised that way, but we still can change the narrative.
My opinion, that's a source of pride. You know what I mean? Because like we just
Yeah,
did
too.
this in Bible study about pride. That could be like harmful. It can be good or bad to have a
Mm-hmm.
certain amount of pride because
Mm-hmm.
you gotta like I said, you gotta men need other men to encourage each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
a lot of times we feel like we got it, we don't got it, and then
Mm-hmm.
we're afraid to reach out because we don't want to look less of a man to somebody else. That's a lot of pride.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
learn how to fellowship together, learn how to tell another man, encourage other people. Like we got to encourage each other that way because what happens like if you do something for somebody, right, and they say thank you, you feel a certain way when they say thank you, versus when somebody just when they don't say it, you feel like
Mm-hmm.
all my work was for nothing. You know what I mean? So, but
Mm-hmm.
if you can encourage somebody and help them through the day, man, you don't know how much you can boost their self esteem or so to actually help us get out of that mentality. We don't need to stay prideful like that where we can't reach out for help and feel like we got this when we really don't. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
even when even when we have spouses or whatever, and we like, that's what they're there for. Like that's why we have spouses. We supposed to be, one. So whenever I'm going through something, she like your spouse could actually be the one to encourage you or get you out of that headspace. Like you guys should have the same emotions. Like if you down, your spouse should be up trying to lift you up. It shouldn't be down. You shouldn't try to bring that spouse down with you. So
Yeah.
like you guys got to get out of that prideful mind frame that we've been going through, where we've been like taught and stuff like that. Man up. I mean, we still men, whether we going through something or not. Like that's what we just gotta be better with each other to be able to come out of that mindset.
Hey, I got a question, and son, I want you to respond to this first. Like, Al, you said it was pride, but when you said that, something hit me. How do we know it's not pride versus being ashamed to reach out? Son, I want to ask you, how can we change that narrative, man, to where you shouldn't feel down or you shouldn't think less of yourself as a man if you have to reach out to someone? How do we change that narrative, man?
Man, you hit definitely a thought process and the idea. Simple as this says the secret battles. Now, a man biologically is a man with all the instruments, all the know-how, the body type, and everything else. I think where we have to justify is understanding that if I'm looking at another brother, we all African American on here, but we know we have other brothers of different shades. The
Right.
idea that when you see another man, what that has been drawn up in our culture to be considered a man, you know, what has been drawn up to everything else to be, oh, you a man once you reach this pinnacle. I know, other brothers have streams and podcasts that talk about that, about initiation. Well, most men haven't been grown up to be spoken to by a father or by a generation of men to understand what just being a man is. Like, it doesn't define me as a man because I have a certain car. It doesn't define me as a man because I have a certain house or things or all these outside reflections of you a man once you have. No, you're a man once you came out that womb. And then the idea of, you know, being my brother's keeper. It starts off there, that battle between those two brothers, Cain and Abel, about, Cain killing his brother. The idea was he didn't show love. You know what I'm saying? And the idea is when my brother is weak, I should be strong. And I know my brother Alvin said about going to his wife, but a lot of times, and I've told men, sometimes your best friend isn't going to be your wife, you know, because the thing is, I believe men have been drawn away from understanding that it should be another man that you should be able to, bounce ideas off of. Not that you don't have respect for your wife and you don't, run things by her,
Right.
but I believe as a man, just the true definition in the voice, the true definition and understanding, it's not about necessarily what a man's going to present, just about who he is, character, values, morals. Because anybody can stand up, and say, "Oh, I'm a man," but there's, I believe, more in depth when it comes to when you're, like you said earlier, your fruit show.
Mhm.
We all none ain't gonna be perfect,
Right.
but your fruit should show that in which, you know, if my brothers are falling short, I don't just accompany that by saying, "Ooh," if my brother is married, I don't accompany that by saying, "Oh, you out there stepping out. Oh, I'm down with that." Nah, that's not the character of what we say manhood is. And it can go culturally. We know brothers across the way, they got multiple wives and stuff, and I would say it goes with that, within that aspect. But the biggest thing about, I think, when it comes to us in past, you know, can I show my brother my weakness?
Right.
Can I show my brother that, hey, there's hidden wounds, especially like I said, going from sometimes his first experience with the woman. Most of us weren't ready or really told of what that was going to be. And then you go into conversation and culture. Oh, well, how you a man by how many you holding down, you a man by
Mhm.
how many you can, get at.
Mhm.
But none of that really bringing true value to what you are as a man.
None at all, man.
You know what I'm saying? I really definitely look at the aspect of saying, okay, if it's a man that stays before me, do we line up? You know, he can be a Muslim brother. He can be, you know, a brother of different religion or something else of that nature. But do we line up with what our morals are? Every man, he want a house, he want a home to go to, he want his family to be safe. Those things that are just lined up on what it is that we can present, and then understand that we all had those struggles. Every man got to work. Yes, that's what they say. But it's definitely an understanding of it isn't about just what that brother does, but who he is.
Okay, gotcha.
Why? I
Yeah.
got a question for everybody, and you can chime in. I
Right.
feel what you're saying, but one thing you mentioned, Sean, I'm gonna pick it back on it. You said your wife ain't always gonna be your best friend. Hey, my wife, my best friend, bro. But I understand your point. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like men we deal with a lot. Not saying women don't, but I feel like we really, at the end of the day, if you're a real man, at the end of the day, you're left to figure things out for your family. You know what I'm saying? Or
Right.
everything we get up and go deal with on a daily basis, we always can't bring it back to our spouse because I mean they play maybe spilling over too. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to have a good group of men that you
Right.
can lean on. You know what I'm saying? That you can pick up the phone, and sometimes every conversation don't require you to respond, but to listen sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's simple. That it being that simple, you can pick up the phone and call a friend, man. I need a vent, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes women don't see our perspective. You know what I'm saying? They don't see things from a man's perspective. They see things where, well, it can still be done right here, right now. You know, some women, depending on what woman you're dealing with. But
Mm.
I want to. My question is, why is it hard for men to express their emotions? You know what I'm saying? Why you guys feel like it's hard? I'm gonna start with Ken. Or you feel
And
like
and just too kind of like responding to what you said, because you were saying like women go through things too, and the
yeah,
thing is, this world knows women go through things, and they make it acceptable, and they give them help. But it's like with men, it's like dude was saying, it's like we ain't human. It's like we
yeah,
can't have down moments. So
yeah,
that's kind of like why men don't express themselves emotionally, because a
gotcha.
lot of times you express yourself emotionally, you looked at as being a weak man. But and
Mm-hmm.
it's like, okay, you looking at me as I'm a man, but look at me like I'm a human. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Of course, we understand being a man sometimes is okay, just scrap up, do what you gotta do. But a man can't keep going on like that. He needs
Right.
room to express himself. He needs a moment to just, okay, soak it in. Hey, I'm feeling down. Just give me this moment. I'm gonna get back up and do what I gotta do. But let me have a moment to just,
Decompress.
not have to, carry it away, or not have to just be
Yeah,
Superman. Can I
yeah,
take off my cape? You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Just for a
100%.
second. You
100%.
know, that's why men don't express themselves, man.
Right. That's a good point though. Like that is true. Like, women is looked upon as emotional creatures or whatever, you know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
like when Jesus came here, he went through every emotion that a human being goes through too, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The only thing he didn't do was sin. But he
Mm-hmm.
experienced everything that we experienced. And we made in his image, we gonna experience all that. But like you said, your wife may be your best friend, that's salute to you. But like I mentioned earlier, we need other men too. Like a man without another man is usually alone in this world. So we need other men to be able to fellowship with, to encourage each other because like you said, if we looked upon as men, we need somebody else up on that level, like we are other men to help
Mm-hmm.
us out when we don't know what to do. Like
Yeah.
there's always somebody wiser than you. So you wanna tap in, you know what I mean? And that's why that's why we have the Bible, you know what I mean? So that I feel like I look at the Bibles like how when you got like when you don't know how to operate this machine or something, right? You
100%.
Man.
you read a manual, right?
Yeah.
So when you
Yeah.
want to know how to deal with life, you got to read life's manual, and that's what the
Mm-hmm.
Bible is. So it teaches you, how to act, how to approach certain situations. And as men, you know, like that is like being ashamed, or like to, express yourself is a form of pride. So it's the same thing. So because we prideful, because we care, it's like we watch this thing it's called living in fear. You know what I mean? You're afraid, whether you realize it or not. That's called living in fear. If you're afraid that somebody else is gonna look at you a certain way, that's living in fear. And Jesus don't
Mm-hmm.
want you to live in fear. He wants you to be able to rely on him at every turn. If you don't know
Mm-hmm.
if you're going through anything, always talk to him first. You know what I mean? So if you worried about what somebody else is gonna think about you or look at you as not a man, that's living in fear. We can't live in fear. You know what I mean? And we gotta let our light shine, and then that, and we're gonna go through these trials and tribulations or whatever. But it's not like we don't have the answer to ourselves. That's why I say that's why Jesus put other men in your life, because they may know things you don't, to encourage you. So it's a form of pride, but also living in fear. And we gotta figure out, we gotta get away from that fear, man. We can't go backwards. We gotta move forward, and that's what that is.
All right.
Why
You
is it
got
hard?
something you want to say, something?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
why is
was
it hard for
gonna
men to
say,
express themselves? Sean?
just gonna say and holding on why we don't express, man. Is I I really just gotta open up, brothers. I want to say it's been strategic. As black men, because we're on here.
Right.
Um, it has been strategically situated to where we didn't have our men in our homes, or to get the men out of home and get the woman to combat with us. And it has its results. Our roots come from that, in which we came from a slavery background, a background where we had to fight to be seen as equal, seen as human. You know what I'm saying? And so as men, we didn't get a lot of it had to do with, survival. If you think about back at that time, they beat the man that was strongest in front of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And if one thing, if a man is shown to be weak in front of his family, in front of his friends, or matter of fact, take his true value, his spirit, it can be seen through generation. Our young men question who they are, and it made, as brothers, as y'all been talking, it made me first think, like, really, I grew up and my understanding was really distorted until I found, first of all, spirituality. Make sure that in line. As they say, God first, and then everybody else second. And then I would say, as a man, just living full. Like, sometimes it's like they say, we get to a certain age and we get, man, you know what? I'm gonna just let it roll, and I'm gonna speak what's on my mind now, because you have been taught so much to hold back, not knowing a lot of times that's what keeps us full. We
Right.
don't do little things that can help us to get it out, like journal and do those things, because again, it's like you said, we first on talking to the Father. Me myself, I lost my father at age 5. I know Jay's story. I know a little bit what he told me about you, but a lot of us have learned this male role through going through different
Trial and error, bro.
circumstances. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We haven't had a straight line. And I'll say this, I don't think no man or no human being's path is a straight line. So I
Right.
can always get nuggets from another man. I can always get, knowledge from a situation that another
Yeah.
man might go through. But
Mm-hmm.
my first line has to be that in which my true father. And I think that's where it begins, because like you said, there's still the teaching that we know out of the regular school system. There's that teaching of life.
I got that when you said straight line, that brought something to my attention too. As I was mentioning, when we talk to God first, because regardless of how you look at it, if you worried about what another person thinks about you, that's living in fear. Now, when he said, follow me, you follow me straight. Don't veer to the left. Don't veer off to the right. You know what I mean? Just follow me straight forward. And then you will see, even if somebody think this of you, think that of you, you don't worry about what they say. If you feel like if you got a problem, because we all gonna have them, like it even says it, like offense will come. So like if we feeling a certain way because somebody else is looking at us, like I know we supposed to be men by what we go through. That's letting our flesh take over, but we gotta let our spirit man take over when it comes to a situation like that. Like we might be experiencing something, and we need to talk to you about it or whatever. We need somebody to encourage because trust can go a long way. If you throwing something back in my face, then I might not want to talk to you, but I forgive you.
That's the reason why I'm going to say that's the reason why I'm going to stay silent. Don't
Right,
stay silent. You know what I'm saying? That's why
right,
people don't open up, bro, because
exactly.
people will throw your information. You go spill your goods to them, they throw it back at you. You know what I'm saying? Like, or
Right,
they go gossip to somebody about it. That's why my circle is small now. My advice is,
right,
you'll know when you have solid people in your corner. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
And we all know, I guess
I would,
we all here right now can agree that, of course,
right,
God is the foundation of everything. You,
and
you
with that,
can and can't trust, but it's important to have some solid ones in your corner, bro.
and with that being
It
said,
really is. That's my experience. The people I know at work, some people I know at work, they don't express themselves because people don't really care. Some people don't really care. They just want to be nosy. You know what I'm saying? They just want something to talk about. You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? And that's
That's why
why it's hard. That's why
people,
men explode because people do that to them. They turn around and do stuff like that to them. You know what I'm saying?
right. That's why when you're looking for somebody to have in your corner, make sure it's somebody who has the fear of the Lord in them. You know what I mean? Because if you gonna have somebody in your circle, you got to have other people that are of Christ in your circle. You know what I mean? Because if you get men of this world, then that's probably what you're gonna get or expect. You know what I mean? So if you got other brothers of Christ to follow and to fellowship with and to talk to, if you're a true man of God, you wouldn't throw that back in somebody else's face. You know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
you would understand what it's like to be. And look, instead of living in fear, I would say I like the acronym JOY. You know what I mean? Think joy to me means Jesus, others, then yourself. You always put people before you. Put Jesus before everybody, others before yourself. And if you live like that, you more likely have a more solid foundation in life. You know what I mean? So
100%.
just always focus on Jesus and the people that's following him too. And then you know you have the right people in your circle. If you just going to anybody on the street, then that might not be the right decision or the right person to tell your problems to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, guys. I got a question I want to ask, man.
Right.
And if you don't feel comfortable sharing, you don't have to. This the question. He said, "What's the biggest struggle you face as a man that you feel you can openly share?" Like anyone, whoever that's open to sharing, like the biggest struggle they face as a man that they can openly talk about.
I think the biggest hurdle I'm gonna say I'm overcoming. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say I'm overcoming. Of course, I got to put actions with it. I think the biggest struggle right now is the reaction before the understanding. You know what I'm saying? You start getting bits and pieces of the story. Like I say, even with parenting, I was just talking to my daughter, and before I got a full understanding of what was going on, I kind of like jumped to conclusion, justifying yourself apologizing because you didn't get understanding. You know what I'm saying? So I guess my biggest hurdle right now I'm struggling with is just trying to communicate better, be a better listener. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right. In James 3, it talks about the tongue. You know what I mean? And like
Mm-hmm.
how your tongue is like men can tame. We can control ships. We can
100%.
put some over a horse's mouth and pull his head this way, he'll turn. But we can't control our own mouths, man. So I would say before you can respond, train yourself to talk to Jesus first. Ask him to use you. You know what I mean? That was one of my struggles. You know what I mean? Like what you just said. Like I just say something without thinking. You know what I mean? So now I just sit back. I think I just sit back quiet. If I don't really feel like I
Yeah.
have nothing nice to say, I don't try to use myself to talk. I talk to Jesus
Yeah.
first and ask him, like show me the words to use. You know what I mean? Like sit back and
Help
think
me
about
out.
it.
Help me out. Let me get through this. 100%.
Right. Right.
Anybody else want to share something that they?
I would, in answering the question, Kendrick, man, it was that's a soul one, but I appreciate y'all brothers because I'm gonna open up, man. I had to acknowledge that I was depressed. I had to acknowledge that I wanted to get up out of here.
Hmm.
Um, I had to acknowledge that because of my hurt,
Mm-hmm.
I did begin to hurt others.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would say, man, I'll say it like I said it. You know, when I got my divorce, man, um, when I got
That's real.
divorced, I told brothers I said I would never deny God. But the way
Yeah.
I started living my life, I wasn't gonna go see him, bro. Just honest
Yeah.
truth. And to understand that I was truly depressed. And I would say men work two different ways about that. Like right after the divorce, fed right into work. Just work, work, work. You know what I'm saying? Even got I laugh because like brother even got teacher of the year. I was teaching at the time. But I got hit probably with the really emotions of it
Yeah.
the third year. So what I would say is, you know, even us sometimes being able to acknowledge
Mm.
what it is that secretly we battle with. You know what
That's
I'm
a turning
saying?
point right there. It's a good
Yeah.
turning point.
You know,
Mm.
I didn't know how far I was sinking. You know what I'm saying? I didn't
Mhm.
know, you know, I'm covering it up, doing other things. I'm covering it up, you know, being out there. I'm covering it up, you know,
Mhm.
entertaining how I'm entertaining,
Mhm.
realizing the whole time it's just I'm not no longer
Not
at peace
okay. Not
with myself.
okay. Yeah.
I'm not okay.
Yeah.
That's real,
And
man.
I say this, I appreciate brothers like Jay and them being around because being open to share with them how wild and out I was doing and being, they was bringing me back in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I feel like when you locked in with people, bro, with some real ones, bro, they know when something off with their brother, man. That's why
Yeah.
that leads back to a relationship and just not being self-centered. You know what I'm saying? You reach out to your brother, you check on your brother, you do a
Right.
mental health check in, bro, because it's real out here. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Every man, and that's I feel like that's you overcoming right now as we speak right now. You know what I'm saying? Talking about you had to acknowledge. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, that's the only way they can get over it if they acknowledge it. That's the only way you begin to heal if you acknowledge it. I'm not okay. You know what I'm saying? I've been to counseling before, bro. I've been to counseling, and some people cringe,
you gotta accept it
but
first, right?
that same person need help. That same person that cringe when oh you been with counseling for what? But that same person need help, bro. That same person need help. So
And I would
you
say
come, you
that, man,
come, you coming
just
out, bro. You
while I was
coming
on
out.
the flight, I went to counseling afterwards
Yeah,
and
Even
not
without
denying it all.
people.
Not
yeah.
denying it all. I think those that feel like they need to reach out and get that assistance definitely should.
They
Uh,
do, man.
But what I would say is like you're saying, my brothers and those words of that counselor
Yeah.
is what's sending me back. Like, and
Yeah.
then definitely like just experiences, like knowing that you are his child. You know, honestly, man, he started shutting down some of the things that I was doing, and I could acknowledge the fact that he was shutting it down.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to move forward when he was shutting it down.
Yeah.
So the idea, like knowing that, you know, we do have choice,
Yeah.
and he will acknowledge, you know, that he's present, but
Yeah.
it's
A
still,
100%.
you know,
He was always present. God was always present.
That's
We was
real.
just chilling, doing our own thing, having our own little vice to, consume us and escape reality. And when you
Right.
come back to reality, it's like you sink. You know what I'm saying? You get to that sinking place. You know what I'm saying? Hey
Yeah.
Ken, you can hear me?
Yeah, I'm listening, man.
Say, man, I'm gonna be brutally honest with you, bro.
What's up?
I think this trump what I shared the first time. I mean, we all here. I think
Right.
one of my biggest struggle is trying to get even, but that's God's job, bro. Like real talk. I be want to call everybody out. You know what I'm
That's
saying? Like
man.
and people trying to handle you, mishandle you like you stupid. I be want to say something, but I feel like God really don't give us discernment to just pop off like that, because he's God, so he gonna handle them people. But sometimes, bro, I be wanting to get even.
Exactly.
And sometimes when you know you're wrong, I had to come back, sit with myself. I be like, all right, yeah, God, I was wrong. I'm sorry for that one. But I just had to get him on that one. But let God be God. What you got to share, Ken?
Hey, I just want to, son, bro, appreciate you, man, getting on here, being open. Uh, man, hope you just continue to grow into the man God still got you here for. Like, you still here for a reason, bro. There's some people, man, they actually follow through with that, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that God still got you here, bro,
And
you
you
on
ready?
this sharing with us, bro. This day, it was meant for all this to happen. It was meant
Appointed
for you to
time.
still be here, to be on this podcast, to share your story, bro. So appreciate you, bro, and praying that you just continue to let God use you, bro.
No, I
And
Man,
appreciate.
I'm glad you still here, bro.
Oh yeah.
Love for real,
Hey, I appreciate y'all,
for
brother.
real.
And I say, man, you never know what God taking you through. Now, like I said, hurt. I pray no brother have to go through it, my brother.
How
No
did you
brother.
overcome it though? How did you overcome
Like,
it? How did you avoid going over that threshold? How do you avoid? What kept you from going over that threshold?
man, you know what? My kids,
Okay.
my kids.
Woo-wee.
Um,
Man, whatever
and
it
I'll
takes.
tell you, God has
God know what it takes.
and I'll tell y'all, brothers, when God take you through something, you be surprised. Like other Christian brothers, bro, that heading toward divorce. Other males that then had divorces. Like I didn't run into these circles while I was married, but
Mm-hmm.
afterward, and for them to conversate, them to open up, them to see, them to share. Like it's a lot of brothers out there, man, that are gonna be blessed by this, bro. Because I'll say it's a lot of brothers that are not. Is that song? I don't know if y'all saw it on YouTube, like, and the dude was like, "You took my family away." You know what I'm saying? You
It
took
was a
my
song.
MF family away. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's a song a dude made, and you can kind of see that he went through it, but it's so relatable with so many men these days because a lot more than that we think. Like I said, struggle. Even those that are like still in fighting through. It's that silent struggle. If we talk about secret battle, it's that silent struggle. You know, whether it be the man is in his home and he trying to make sure that he does provide for his family, he does protect his family, or that he is guiding his family. You know, this
Yeah.
it's just big to even say, okay, I gotta search for a job and now I got to move my family out of state, or military families that okay they depart months at a time. It's
Right.
like it's a lot of true you know misunderstanding when it comes to a man is not emotional, and I had to put this message out there, my brothers. I say men are more emotional than women. I said I have a plug when it says that Adam just ate that fruit after Eve did. I said it's just the fact that
We just talked about that before we got on the
you know
apple.
what I'm saying. I plug it because what I say is, man, it's a lot of men that don't come out of that, and like you said, bro,
No, bro.
my children
No.
and my brothers, bro, because and of course God, because bro,
That's beautiful. Hey, I'm glad you're still here, bro. But I
yeah,
feel like without us even knowing it, even when we go through, bro, we weird. You know what I'm saying? When we go in that dark room and just go through it by ourselves, you know what I'm saying? I feel like we weird eventually in our health, in our appearance. We weird whether we talk about it or not, bro. So like somebody once told me, man, I'll be glad the moment you stop being in denial, you gonna be all right.
Right.
mm,
She gonna be
right,
all right. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You ain't supposed to always have it together. That's not life. You know what I'm saying? That ain't life, bro. Ken, you had something you want to share? Did you have anything you want to share, or haven't had as far as
the biggest struggle,
yeah?
man. I feel like a lot of men deal with this too, bro. I've been divorced too before. Um, I'm remarried now, happily married, bro. Like my wife is a blessing, but I'm divorced, and after that divorce, I got with another lady, had twins by her. That didn't work out, and like the biggest struggle that I'm dealing with, bro, is not having all of my kids under one roof, bro. And
Mm.
and I feel
Woo.
like that's something that a
Presence.
lot of men deal with, bro. And it's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Like sometimes, like even the mother, uh, it just irritates me when I hear women be like, "My kids,"
Mm.
Like they
And you ain't had nothing
our
to do with it. You ain't had no
yeah,
part
bro,
in it.
they our kids, and it's like I don't understand the system, like how they just automatically like go with the mom, and I know okay I can get joined or go to court and all this, but it's like it gonna get ugly,
Yeah.
and then I be battling like should I go that route or should I just accept it and see them as much as I can? But that's my biggest struggle, bro. Like not
Man, the
having
system
all
is
my
tricky though.
kids,
Yeah, the
not
system
having
is
them
tricky.
all
I feel like,
on the roof with me, and
yeah.
like knowing that they're being affected by other things that I have no control over. And like I've
Mm.
even dealt with situations because of a man that their moms have started to date or maybe remarried. Now I got to deal with. Bro, it one time, bro, my daughter was calling her mom new husband dad, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And like this type, bro. I'm like, what? And her excuse was she chose to do that. I ain't tell her to do that, but you know better though. You
Mm.
shouldn't allow it. And then I be feeling like too, as the other man in the situation, hey bro, I'm involved. You know I'm around. Don't you even
Yeah.
go for that, bro. I just feel
Yeah.
like me, if I get in with a woman and the dad is involved and the child try to call me dad, no.
But did that person remarry?
Say that again.
That person remarried?
Yeah, she married another guy, but still, bro, they know I don't carry you because you remarried. You not my child father, bro. And like I said, that's the type of stuff I feel like me and
Struggle.
go through too that we don't really talk about. But and Alvin, I know you got a divorce too, man. And you probably can, I know y'all guys understand what I'm saying, bro. Like dude, not having your kids in that same home with you, bro, it's a struggle, bro.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like sometimes I feel the
Because you
disconnect.
know the importance of a father and a man in the kid's life.
Sometimes I
You feel
feel
me?
the disconnect, bro. Sometimes I be feeling like the mom just wish I just disappear and give up on even trying to be in my life, bro. And like I deal with sometimes I call my kids and they ain't answering the phone. And then I'm calling them. I'm like, what's up, bro? I'm like, what y'all want me to just stop calling y'all or something? But like that be a struggle for me sometimes, bro. And like I pray about it. I even be praying to God, tell him like, keep my connection with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like don't never let that leave. And that's just one of the biggest struggles I deal with.
What about your struggles, Al? My biggest struggle, to be honest, man, like this is something I pray about. Like, I feel sometimes that I might let God down and not be the leader of my household like Mm-hmm. I should be. And I feel like I don't want to, my biggest struggle, I don't like, cause my kid's mama don't believe in God. You know what I mean? And like, and I'm like, dang, I don't want my kids or nobody in my family to be condemned to hell. So I feel like that's my biggest struggle is me not help leading them to Christ the way I should. So like my entire family. So with that being said, like one of the things I deal with a lot, I try to have them going to church with like that. And I want to be able to do like Bible study a lot of times with everybody when they're here. But sometimes we don't be on that type time when we here. It's like it's a constant struggle. You know what I mean? I feel like because even Satan knows scriptures. You know what I mean? So I feel like even when I want to like have a Bible study, there's always some, and that's when Satan gets really busy. Like when we just come back from church, I'm hearing kids arguing and stuff like that, and it's like, I tell them, I say, look, don't you realize what's going on? I mean, Satan is busy. As soon as he know you got that word, he want to take it out of you. Make you forget everything you heard. So it's like when I as me as like God holding the man accountable because you're supposed to be the head. Like I read, I think at the end of Deuteronomy or whatever it might be it. After Moses passed, he was telling everybody. He said you can either follow, like you can serve one, like whatever God you want to serve. You can serve the God that Abraham, his father did, and boss. I
Don't
will
serve
serve
the
the Lord.
Lord.
Right.
100%.
So it's like I don't want them to be of the world. Is what I'm trying to say because they're here. Like it's kind of like what you saying too, Ken. Like I want them to be all under my house, my roof, because I feel like under my roof is more safe. But what I just do is I pray for them, and then when I tell them when they come over here, I always remind them, hey, make sure you say your prayers at night, not just at night. Say them in the morning, say them throughout the day, because you can have a
Mhm.
thought in your head. You know what I mean? And that thought you have is not a godly thought. You know what I mean? You can think of something like you might want to hurt somebody, or you thinking about doing something or talking back. That's a sin. You know what I mean? So even when you think of that, I was like, man, I try to tell them to, like repent. So my biggest fear, like that's my biggest fear, is not me not being the leader that I'm supposed to be. And I know that to solve that, I need to read the word more. But like even me, I have struggles sometimes. But
We all do. Yeah.
whenever I do have problems, I'm usually quick to pick up my Bible and I read. You know what I mean? Because you got
Okay.
to understand, and you got to talk to Jesus. You got to understand that you got to put it in His hand, and then when you put it in His hand. Don't worry about it anymore because you got to have faith that He'll do it. Like He said, if you look at that mountain and you tell that mountain to move, and if you believe it in your heart, your whole heart, that that mountain is going to move because you have faith, then that mountain is going to move. You know what I mean? But so you got to be able to follow through with what you say, pray for. So I do pray for them all the time. Even if I don't make it to heaven, I don't want to let them down. You know what I mean? So I
So
do. That's
your
why
kids are not consistently with you.
no, I see them like it was different. Like I see them sometimes. I used to see them like on a Monday after work or so, and I drop them back off before they got to go back to school. The next day, so like at night or something, like 8 o'clock. I pick them up Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and keep them for the weekend, and then the next weekend they stay with their mom. So, but
Right.
right now I do every weekend.
Yeah.
I don't really like that to be honest because a
Yeah. I
lot of
don't like that
times
either. But I
I
feel
like
like
I
you're doing
want
a good
to be
job, bro. Keep pushing. Keep pushing when it comes to them kids, bro. And the dynamics of the different households is different. A lot of times your kids probably gonna look at you like, bro, what you saying? But you got to
and
find something because you can't. It's impossible to take God out of the equation. But you
right.
got to find something. You got to find that one thing that connect them.
Right. They tell me this thing
You
sometimes,
got to
like
find that one connection.
to be
Yeah.
like God isn't real and this and that. And I don't need like my thing is my son looks up to his brother. So I don't want him to think that. So when he come over here, I try to make sure that I keep that in their ear. You know what I mean? Even here, when they going through stuff, I was like, that's not how y'all supposed to respond to each other. Because when I'm not here, if when I'm dead and gone, you might need your brother or your sister for something. You know what I mean? And y'all got to be able to come together and work together because when you doing that, you letting Satan get in, Satan divide, you letting the flesh take over. So I want to be able to be more efficient and at leading them to Christ because I don't want to see nobody in hell really, but my family. You know what I mean? Not just my biological kids, the ones I'm into as well. I'm the leader of this house, so I don't want to see anybody go down because I feel like I fail. You know what I mean? Because regardless, they look up to me in like a lot of ways. So when I talk to my wife or something, I gotta respond to her a certain way to set an example. I gotta show them how to talk to their spouse. You know what I mean?
Just be
Show
that
them
example, bro. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
when you don't realize it, they really pay attention to everything you do. You know what I mean?
100%.
So
100%.
I used to smoke, man. I had to quit that because I don't want them to smoke. So how am I going to tell them, hey, quit smoking,
Exactly.
man? I pick it up every single. I mean, like that's not the like. I got to change my actions so that for every action there's an equal opposite reaction. When you think about it that way, it's like they mimic everything you do, especially if they look up to you. You
So you
know,
got to be the example. You know what I'm saying? They going them kids. Some people. Some people say some people read you before they read the Bible, bro. So just be that
exactly.
example. Hey,
Exactly.
Ken. Well,
Okay.
everybody that's here, anybody, one at a time. What's your healthy like, what's your healthy outlet? You know, what's a healthy way you respond to stress? You know what I'm saying? I know sometimes, I know for myself, I hit the gym or something, and I feel so much lighter when I come out of there. Or I get in, I listen to my music, my praise and worship music, or just
That
sit
right.
there and enjoy the presence of God. Or I read. I don't read all the time, but everybody connection different. You know, we all know as men areas we need to work on. But what's that? What keeps you from crashing out? Like, what's your getaway that like just keep keep
Yeah.
you attached?
I used to listen to rap, but like that. But then again, I find myself when I listen to rap, I find myself wanting to do more harm than I do good. So like right
Mm-hmm.
now, I just
What's your
put
healthy outlet
I put my
before you crash out?
I put on my praise and worship, man, and like I put myself in the mood like of like God, so I know that I can have some joy. You know what I mean? And then I start praying about it. That's my healthy outlet. I don't have any other outlets but that, and it's been working fine for me
You ain't
so
got so
far.
you ain't got no hobbies. You ain't got no hobbies that
I don't do anything no more. I just like no, I really
some
pretty
people
much
may take
work.
long walks. You know what I'm saying?
I work. I play my
Yeah.
game, but if I play my game on
Yeah,
my phone or whatever, that's not really. That's just clearing my. That's just taking my mind off of it. It's not like making
gotcha,
me feel better. So what makes
gotcha.
me feel better is when I put my earbuds in, I play my praise and worship music, man, and I pray about it and I forget about my stress and it goes away. You know what I mean? So that's my healthy outlet. I don't have any other hobbies but that really.
Now, I
Ken,
will, I
Sean,
will, now I will say, man, I started off probably like album when I first got saved. To any brothers that will listen to this, like when you first come out the world, don't try some of the stuff you did. Don't try to go to a club and think sometimes you be on fire for God. You be wanting to go back in there and think you're gonna say something about even for your family.
Man,
Sometimes it's season that God need with you. But I would say now, just realistically, I'm real serious a lot. And I pray about that. I'm real serious a lot
right.
and kind of hearing the same sentiments as Ken because my kids aren't with me and how I
Mhm.
would feel if they were under the same roof. But what I do is I watch comedy, bro. I go to a comedy club, though, bro. I'll go shake a leg. I'm sorry. God gave me the rhythm. You know what I'm saying? I got no problem. I got no
that's your
problem. I'm
outlet,
not
bro. You
going
ain't hurt
I
nobody.
am
That's your outlet.
dude, I am not gonna fall and slip if I go, you know what I'm saying, enjoy my
Yeah,
like cause I like listening to live music, man. I like listening to live music. I still ain't got to, you know what I'm saying, see a lot of my artists that I like to see. But
man,
that's
that's
mine.
your outlet. Yeah,
Sure, for sure. And when I'm consistent getting in that gym. But yeah, dog,
I see
I
your
try.
arms getting bigger, Jay.
huh?
I see your arms getting bigger. Pumping
Hey
iron.
man, I'm trying, bro. I'm raising two girls, bro, and I got a wife in there.
Oh Lord
I
Jesus.
can't
And what
play.
you doing out? What you doing
And
for?
and my job too, huh?
I said, what? I know. Ken was listening. I said, what you over there getting? What you do for the outlet?
Oh, me, man. Like I said, the gym. Like I said, every time like I come from the gym, I feel better. And one thing I do too, most of the time when I'm working out, I'm either listening to like y'all said, some praise and worship music, or I'm listening to a sermon. Like I be trying to feed myself spiritually while I'm strengthening myself physically. So
That's
I kind of always do that every time I'm working out. And like I want to touch on this too because there are some guys out here who do go to the world, the
I
worldly
was
ways
just finna say that. I
and
used to
go
put
to
my
the
prop
worldly
in my father,
ways
bro.
of
I used to put my prop. Yeah, go ahead.
relaxing themselves. And I used to do that, bro. Like I'm tired, I'm finna light up, bro. It's gonna relax me instantly.
right.
Or I might have a drink, So we moved away from that, but like give some advice to people that are still reaching for those things. Cause bro, it would be a battle for me now. Like but I noticed this, those battles become harder when I'm like real tired or something, or it's something really going on and you want to reach for that quick fix instead of going to God in prayer or going to a gym. And you know, like even though like we men of God, I don't want other men that's um trying to get on this path and on this journey to think like, oh, they just got it all together.
No,
Or once you go to God, you gonna have that struggle no more, bro. That struggle is real, bro. Like
weird.
it be time. Like I found myself a couple of weekends ago. Oh, I'm feeling tired because I'm working 50, 60 hours a week. And it's like, bro, man, I'm feeling just gonna give me something light up and relax. And I'm talking about, I'm riding, bro, and I'm like, should I go? Should I go? I went home, bro. And I know I did what's right, but that flesh was calling for it. And I just
Hey,
had to just go home. Hey, I just had to go home, shower, just get some rest, bro, and just, restore myself that way, man. So, hey,
man,
just some advice to people, bro, to
right.
fellas that they're still reaching for that bottle, they're still reaching for that blunt, or
And
whatever vice they use that's not healthy for them. Give
right,
them
man.
some
I'll
advice.
say,
One
I just
thing
say, find you. I'll say, don't allow your struggle to create an addiction in your life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like find avenues to talk about it. To some people that, like for me, that was a time where I put my problems in a bottle, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Where I give me a shot, and I give me a sleep aid, and I go to sleep because you just don't want to deal with it no more, bro. Like,
Mm-hmm.
bro, I ain't trying to kill myself. I just want to sleep. I ain't trying to think about it. You know what I'm saying? So I used to put my problem in the bottle, but I would say I always had a circle I can go to. And Sean, we used to work at the Potter House together when I first moved out here. I always had somebody. You got to keep you somebody, at least one or two people in your corner that's really honest with you.
Accountability friend or somebody
That's
hold.
really, I'm talking about, they ain't going to tell you, you don't need that person that's going to tell you what you want to hear. You don't need nobody that's going to say, hey, man, go ahead. Hey, I'm going to pass you this, bro. We're going to get you right. No.
You somebody
Like,
hold your
what's really
feet.
going on? Let's get to the core of this issue. Let's try to find us a solution. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Find somebody you can talk to. You know who you can talk to, or you can use resources through your job or however you need to get through, bro. But I feel like when you attach your struggles to an addiction, I feel like, for me personally, I feel like every time I lost a part of myself, I kept losing
Mm-hmm.
part of myself. Just kept losing a part of myself till I got to the point where I was looking in the mirror, bro. I couldn't even identify myself, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, I'm pretty sure that was like a spiritual warfare or something, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I just kept losing a part of myself because I didn't want the alcohol to control me, or maybe a joint to control me, or whatever. Whatever the advice is for people that's going through. Some people just throw them back and think they're gonna escape their problem. But once you wake up the next morning, you got a
Yeah, yeah.
hangover. You got a hangover. You got regrets. The problem's still there. So
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
let's find a solution, bro. Let's find a solution.
That
you
was
know what?
I used to work through auction and stuff, and these guys were talking quit. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna go back to selling drugs and stuff. And I said, let me ask you a question. I said, well, first of all, I said, man, I feel like you forgot who world we actually living in. Man. I said, I don't think you should go back to doing that because I said, man, you can talk to Jesus about your problems. And I can guarantee if you relied on him, he'll help you with that. You don't have to go back to doing that because you probably hurt more people than you think you're helping by selling your drugs and stuff. And the
Yeah,
next time I came to work, he was there. You know what I mean? So he didn't he quit. He
man.
didn't
He
go
took
back
your
to
word.
do what
Yeah,
he was doing. So you don't know what seed that you might plant that seed in their head, but when you plant that seed, it can grow. You know what I mean? So you gotta be able to stay on your tippies when it comes to stuff like that, man. I always put God first, and like Ken said, man, like I know what it's like, bro. Trust me. Like sometimes I feel like, when my wife being in a disagreement with me or something about something, you know, they're like, man, if I light this up, I ain't, I ain't even gonna like,
I'm
I ain't
chilling.
even gonna what you want to do there, man. Like,
Yeah, I'm
whatever.
chilling. You
Like,
said
what you
what?
say, like, you
Oh,
said, over my head. I'm
be
like, but
real.
nah, when I'm done, when that high goes down, man, it's
You
still
gotta
gonna be,
deal with it.
you gotta deal with it.
Yeah.
So, like, and you
Got
can't let
to,
that
man.
flesh take over, bro. You gotta really pray about it. And like, and before I know it, when I don't do that, I find myself sometimes I go in the room and she be like, I'm sorry about what I did, this and that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Dad." For sure.
I would tell y'all brothers, man. I had to write the notes. If y'all see me moving my head, because to what you point out, Kenan. One thing is to know you're not by yourself, bro.
Mhm.
I think most brothers don't realize that, and I would say anything like what they say necessarily those that might be listening, like, babe in Christ, you just came to know the Lord. You just came, back to Him. You repented. There's a walk. It's a season of walk through that God gonna take you through. And I would say I was by myself in that season.
Yeah.
As I grew, I would say this: when you talk about getting away from vices, you know, see the word as life to you. As what I'm saying is, it says, He gives a way of escape. If you sitting there with your girl, or if she calling you at 10 o'clock, and you trying to do this right, and you trying to live right, or you feeling that urge, you know, ask God what the way to escape is. You know what I'm saying? Don't One thing about us, we too, like we said earlier, we too prideful to be like, oh no, I can handle it. No,
Mm-hmm.
nah, we can't. And honestly, like, we four different brothers.
Keep it real with yourself.
My vice ain't probably JB's.
Nope.
That's why you need your brother. Our two vices probably not, Kendrick.
Exactly.
Our three vices probably not Alvin. So once you acknowledge what your vice is and what that is, that you might be, drawn those two, you then acknowledge, you then have that, that talk with yourself, that talk with God, and then honestly start looking for, all right, Lord, what is my way out of this? Or what is it that I have to put boundaries on? Like you said, if I just can't, when I just got saved, I ain't go to the club. Like y'all was saying, I wasn't listening to rap. I wasn't listening to none of that. It was worship music. It was reading the word. It was working out. It was keeping myself, before the Lord. As I grew, yeah, I got stronger. But even now, I know I don't take too much pride in saying I don't have no struggle. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I say most. And then, the ultimate, even, this is a thing for me, getting back in rotation of it, really fast away from stuff.
You gotta
I
watch
think
your drive your
there,
flesh.
there's
Yeah.
practices, there's practice in fasting. And I know people take, medications and see what you can do. But like practicality, man, first thing and first most, God gives you that insight, Holy Spirit guides you. Know what you strong enough to do and not do. Or like you said, if you're taking that ride, you know, my boy used to say, you got 60 seconds of temptation. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
If you can get your mind out of that temptation after 60 seconds, you got more of a time to think about, what you about to do, and if you can find yourself
Solution.
something to do other than what you feel like you very struggle to do. And I
That's
think
good. I was telling
that's
him earlier. What about you, Ken? Your temptation. Like I was telling him earlier about like your surroundings. You gotta like what you open your ear gates to, because there's a thing called trend. You know what I mean? If you used to being around people that do this certain things, sometimes it'll be hard for you to do different if you're not like strong in the word, because people like-minded people, man, in your inner circle, like you want to surround yourself with other, Christ-minded people. I call it being Jesus conscious. That's what I call it. I like being Jesus Yeah. conscious because every time you make a decision, you think about like, oh, I told him, I said, man, when you like, God is always around, right? But what if you could physically see him and like you about to light that joint up? He looking right at you, like, you really gonna do that? You know what I mean? And like, if you can put yourself in that mind frame, you'll learn to talk to him more. You know what I mean? Because if I could see God like right here, I'd be talking to him right now. But what's the difference? He is right there. You just can't see him. So talk to him.
Just conversation.
Right, conversation, and that build your like. I went to church, man, and they was like, I walked up to the altar and I was relaying my problem. They came up to me, like this woman walked up to me and told me everything. Like I didn't even like at this point I didn't even say nothing. She just came told me everything that I was going through, and I knew the Holy Spirit was with her right then when she told me everything I was going through. And she said,
Because
"But
she
one
know,
thing
yeah,
you got to do," she said, "one thing you got to do. God wants you to have your personal relationship with Him to grow.
100%.
So like you got to surround yourself with like-minded people. You know what I mean? If you're around a bunch of people clubbing all the time, that temptation in you might be there. You know what I mean? Like so.
I feel like you gotta keep you gotta ultimately keep God a part of your everyday equation, bro. You can't take him out of it, dog. Because you're
And
gonna find yourself in unfamiliar places, man. You be like, what?
right, and the only thing that kept
You know what I'm
King,
saying?
and me from lighting that. It is God, man. Like that's the only thing I would say that kept us from doing that. Like, because you think about it, you're like, nah, it's not worth it. Like, what I God did all this for me, doing all this for me, and He know this. He know that I know this is test, and I'm willing to fail. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
am I willing to fail this test right now? You know what I mean? Like, I ain't never really failed a test in school. Why would I try to fail God's test? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, what I'm doing? What am
But
I
I feel
doing?
like when you guys agree that our storms in some way make us relatable, bro. Our storms, our trials, the things we've been through, it makes us relatable.
It's
Yeah,
funny
Because
you.
I feel like a lot of men don't speak on man. Like some people really going through some stuff, bro. I didn't talk to a couple brothers. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna pray for you, bro. I got you. Or sometimes people need more than prayer. People need action, bro. Like you have people
prayer
that
without
drop the
action
ball
is
when it comes to.
void. What was it saying? Like,
Faith without.
But you got some people. You have some people that hold you accountable for somebody else that dropped the ball. I have people in my corner, bro. When I tell them I got them, I got them. You know what I'm saying? My word is bond. And if that anything change, we gonna communicate about it. You know what I'm saying? But I
right?
feel like our storms make us relatable, and I think that the one thing as men we got to talk about how we overcame, bro. Because I know I've been in a dark place before, and I had somebody at church, and
That's
I
your
ain't really
testimony.
had no good relationship. I ain't had no good relationship with God. I had somebody in church pat me on the back, say, "Hang in there." I'm like, what? That's all you got for me, bro? Hang in there. I need more than that right now because I'm about to fall. Matter of fact, I already fell. I'm sitting on the floor looking at the ceiling. Hang in there. Tell me how I'm gonna get through, bro. That's why I said our storms make us relatable, bro. So I ain't saying you got to share the whole book of your life to people, but you got to have something that make you relatable, bro. Don't come just tell me, oh man, God gonna work it out. I mean, what if I don't know God, bro? Give me something else to hold on to.
Well, see, it's what you saying there because, like, I remember that story that they shared about, a dude spilled something at church or did something, and everybody in the church got on the dude. But then when he went to the bar, you had people talking about was he all right? That they helped him clean up. I think one thing is I want to put out there to the brothers and those that might see this is that you
Okay.
know we not proclaiming perfection, and I think
At all.
I dislike the fact that when you go to church, it's this innate feeling like these folks got it all together and I don't.
Mm.
Like, nah, they don't, brother. I mean, they don't. That man of God is up there to send the word out, but you just as responsible to be in your own word and your own meditation, your own prayer on your own, brother.
You have they
I
heard
mean,
that
that's
term lukewarm?
yeah, that's why Jesus died. He gives you your full own personal access. And then just on natural state, you know what I'm saying? Natural state is, you know what I'm saying? I feel sometimes I like Jay know, like I said, through I call you up. He called me up and other brothers that have been. And like I said, over the years, I know true brothers because I'm like my biological brothers, I'm closer to Jay and a couple other brothers than I am my own blood. But that just came from just the situation. You know what I'm saying? And just the idea that God will send, certain things and certain people into your life to
Yeah.
assist you and to keeping, towards Him. But
Ken,
Yeah.
what you told
I
me?
feel like what you got, Ken?
You said it
Well,
passed through God, and he allowed it to come to you because it came to him first. And what you
what
told me?
you,
Earlier?
what you say, man?
I said, what you tell me earlier? You said something like your trials like it come through
Oh
God
yeah,
first or
yeah,
so.
yeah.
The guy got to get permission, man.
I got that from Charles Stanley, man. He was just saying, like, if we look at it, like, whatever that happens to us, like, it had to get through God first. And
Right.
so,
Yeah.
so,
God
so
gave him
if God
permission.
allow it to get to
Yeah.
you, he
Yeah.
know you can handle it. Like you said,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a test. It's something to
Hey,
make you stronger. He wouldn't allow something to get to you that is going to defeat you. He's sending you, he allowed it to get to you because he know this is going to build you up and make you stronger and prepare you for what lies ahead. So
100%.
if we look at it like that, whatever that happens to us, whatever it is, hey, you had to get through God first to even get here. So
Yeah.
bring it on. Let's deal with it. Because he ain't
You
going to
got
even
God's
allow
will.
to get to me that I
Yeah.
can't handle.
So God's will versus self-inflicted.
Oh yeah,
Because you
nah,
knew better. You knew better
hey,
in the first place.
that's
You knew better. Woe is me. Nah, you knew better. But go ahead, bro. That's a whole nother subject.
hey,
You-
that's another topic. You know, them self
Yeah,
inflicted
hey, that's
wounds.
another topic.
Hey, but
But
check this out, bro. Check this
yeah,
out. You know, respect y'all time. We finna wrap it up with this last
yeah,
question I got right here. Well, it's not a
yeah.
question. It's just what advice would you give to a man who is struggling in silence right now? Like we know we all been there. Like you were saying, JB, you in the room, all the lights off. You know, you're down. Like it's men out there right now. They struggling in silence, bro. What advice would you give to them, son? We're gonna start with you.
Man, I say first and foremost, say pray. But no, man, don't be shy to ask for help. It's programs out here. If somebody dealing with, like you said, drugs, alcohol, it's counselors out here. Man, do not, a lot of these jobs have free counseling now. They pay for it. The benefit is in there. I pray if you don't have somebody that you can open up to, that you seek the help. Don't be ashamed or don't feel like you less than, because like I said, we all still, until we pass away, gonna be seeking to be perfection, but never make it. You get what I'm saying?
Perfect progress.
Right.
All right.
I kind of piggyback off you a bit, Sean, because God say seek counsel. You know what I mean? He does say that. So it's like I would say pray without ceasing. You know, get with somebody who's with relatable issues, who actually came out of it. Because you don't sometimes when you go to people for advice, you don't want to talk to somebody who has never been through what you've been through. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if somebody been through that before that came out of it, they obviously have some way of assistance. So I would say do that. And for one, try to pick up your Bible, try to read it every day, and put yourself in the shoes of the people that God showed favor to. Everybody He showed favor to, it always says they serve the Lord. You know what I mean? With their whole heart. So try to give your whole heart to God, not part of it. If you give your whole heart to God, there won't be any other room for anybody else to come in there because it's filled up to the top. You know what I mean? So I would say, he always gave somebody wiser to talk to. Talk to somebody wiser with wisdom, with good wisdom.
100%.
JB?
Man, I would say I think the first thing is you can do is speak up, man. Like I had a brother tell me something one day that was he don't understand. Like us in this moment right now, it's so profound. Well, it's aligned with this moment. He was like, I was kind of frustrated about something. He said, "Hey, man, next time say something. I can't help you if you don't speak up. So you
Exactly.
can't get the help. You can't get the help you're looking for that you're suffering with in silence unless you speak up. It's gonna be a big weight lifted off your shoulders after you make that first step, and that's admitting that I don't have it together, man. I need some help. So speak up.
Right.
My advice, bro, this just came to me. Thank you, Holy Spirit, because that's who gave me this.
That is
I asked that question, like, how can we change the narrative? Like, of a man, expressing what he's going through, um, is being weakness. And one way we can do that is really let people know, bro, when you open up and you being vulnerable, that's a sign of strength.
yes.
Like, that's not a sign of weakness. When you willing to let somebody know the truth of what's going on in your life, not like how most of us are on social media. We just gonna show you the best. People ain't
Mm,
showing you what's really going on. But when
real.
somebody is willing to be vulnerable and open up and let you know, hey, bro, I'm really struggling right now. Like, hey, money ain't right now, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's a sign of strength, bro. When you really willing to show somebody your weak points. So
Mm-hmm.
the advice I give to a brother that's struggling, hey man, you're not weak because you're going through something. And the fact that you're willing to be honest and truthful and let people know that you are going through something, bro, that's showing that you're stronger. You're stronger than what you think you are. Because it takes a strong person to show their weakness. So that's my advice to you, bro. And
Mm-hmm.
like everybody said, man, seek counseling, bro. To the guys out there that's not living for God, that may not believe. I'm gonna tell you like that, bro. You can try it your way, not try his.
100%.
Cause God will allow you, bro, to hit rock bottom. To where, all right,
100%.
now, hey, now you want to come to me? Come on. And that was crazy. He'll allow you to hit rock bottom and get to that point where you ain't got nothing but him. And guess what? He's still
That's
reaching
crazy.
out their hand to you. Come on, bro.
That's crazy.
Come on. I got
God gonna stand still. We just keep
about
doing it.
the Bible, it says that like in like Exodus and all that, like going through all that book of Judges and stuff, like he allowed, like, you want to serve other gods, okay, I'll allow you to hit rock bottom basically, and then I want them other gods that you pray to come and get you out of it. But other than that, when you're willing to come to me, I got my hand out ready to pull you out of it
yeah.
to show you that that's nothing else like me. Is there a place on this earth that you can hide that I don't know about? Because I made this earth and I know you. You know what I mean? Like you can't hide from him. You can't have a thought that he don't know about. So
Yeah.
like, you take come.
And then too, to the believers, to the
Mhm.
ones that thought, hey, once I give my life to Jesus, it was going to be easy. No. Hey, think it not strange, bro. Like, expect trials and tribulations.
Yeah.
Like, don't look at it like, why me, God? Like, no, bro.
Thank you,
Like,
Jesus.
expect it. Like, he with you even through that. Like, I gave advice to the unbeliever. Now, advice to the believer, man. Just keep going, bro. Like, he ain't gonna allow nothing to touch us that we can't handle. Just keep
100%.
going, and hopefully you in a good church that there's somebody in there that you can trust. You know, that's gonna really be there for you and support you. And go to God in prayer, bro. He'll lead you and guide you on who to share your struggles with, man.
Yeah, Ken.
And
On that note, what's that, Ken?
it'll say, man, anything, anybody have anything else before I close us out?
My
Oh, that's
last,
it, man. That's
man,
it.
my last note is just first of all and foremost, thank you, brothers, for doing this.
Right.
I think it's one more time, and then just that, um, like you said, last note, you know, that there's the scripture about putting on the whole armor of God.
Mm-hmm.
People might think it crazy, but I remember the years that I went ahead and went through the whole motions, putting the helmet, putting on the breastplate, putting on, girding your loins with truth, putting on the shoes, and then literally putting like I'm actually putting on the outfit. And as a believer, I would solicit anybody to do that.
I think that's
Boom.
in Ezekiel or something.
Yeah, it's in Ephesians. And then
Ephesians.
Ephesians. And then just the idea, I reiterate, no brother is alone.
Mhm.
Even if it's that, what I mean by no brother alone, some other brothers probably been through what you've been through.
Yeah.
And get over a hump, man, you never know the joy that might come from a new day. You know what I'm saying?
I thank
Don't
God for the storms at this point.
Yeah,
For
don't give
real.
up. Because honestly,
Yeah.
dog, I appreciate you, Ken, for saying that because I know how strong I am really now for
Yeah.
all that I have been able to stand through.
Yeah.
That
For
that
real. For real.
Hey,
Thank you for having me,
uh,
man.
Go ahead,
hey,
Ken.
he was saying like he realized how strong you are, what he went through, and it just made me think about like it show you how faithful God is too, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and
100%.
that's one thing like I learned, like being in that word, like bro, God is faithful, bro.
Yeah.
Like he when we get to tripping with him, bro, he
Change
faithful,
not.
bro.
Change
He
not.
real.
hey,
On that note, man, Jay Brown signing out.
Ken Brown signing out.